Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
You've maxed out your 401k. You're contributing to an IRA and making some other investments. You're ahead of the game and doing well. But where do you go from here? The same old story can only get you so far. If you want a new take from a new type of financial professional, we invite you to get a fresh perspective beside an agent with the backing of New York Life. Insurance, investments, retirement, and more. Visit NYL.com to learn more. Investments are offered through registered representatives of NYLife Securities, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC, a New York Life company.
This episode is brought to you by Hyundai. Whether you're running errands with the kids or heading on a weekend escape, the new 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid is packed with class-leading advanced safety features like blind spot view monitor, forward collision avoidance assist, and wireless phone charging, so you can stay focused on what really matters. Learn more about the new Tucson Hybrid at HyundaiUSA.com.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We're part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well, at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined often by my football guru, Ian, along with a bunch of other friends of the show on occasion. Let's get to it.
Oh, Rams Nation. Mock draft group style 1.0 coming your way right here on the Rams Up Podcast Network. Oh, Rams Nation, it's time. Free agency frenzy is here, and it's time to start cranking on some mock drafts as a group here. I'm Ian. That's Mark, my running mate. Rams Nation, in the live chat, how you guys doing today with all the fun signings? And I think it's time for us to start making some rookie selections, right, Mark?
Yeah, I was thinking today, maybe this wasn't the best day to have a mock draft, but actually I think it is, because we can, adjust, start thinking about what the Rams' priorities will be. They're obvious. I think it's obvious they won't be drafting a wide receiver or a nose tackle in the first round based on what we saw today. We could talk through some of the free agent signings. I know you've already dropped a couple of videos on Poona and Jimmy G, right?
And we got to hear your thoughts, dude. We got to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, let me start with Jimmy G. And I had a little vid last night, a typical one of my regular pod drops, and one of my first and 4 questions is who the Rams backup quarterback would be. And seeing as how the Rams are obviously all in again, and they're well equipped to make a Super Bowl run, it made sense to bring back a guy that has proven he can win at the NFL level. A solid quarterback, has some shortcomings. Jimmy G just made sense, and so I thought they would bring him back, and they did, and I'm okay with that. I don't know what the numbers are. Do you know the numbers yet? Last year it was $10 million, right?
Yeah, it's about 11 up to 13, but I think it's 4.5 guaranteed at the moment at the minimum. But, it's incentive-based, so probably team success has a lot to do with it. And, we get the contract details maybe in the next couple of weeks or so, and we'll know exactly what those incentives and all that fun stuff is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out. The Rams seem to be spending money left and right, but I guess a lot of it's front loaded. I should say back loaded. So they're leaving themselves some room to add some players this year. Next year, I think it's going to be a little bit tighter. Now the Davante signing, I obviously I'm always optimistic when they had guys like that. The age scares me.
Me too.
The age scares me a little bit. But I stumbled across a video, a couple of guys, I wish I had written down the name of the YouTube channel, and they talked specifically about the signing, and they made a point that I think that what they're trying to say is Davante replaces Cooper Kupp and Demarcus Robinson. He actually started playing the slot. He actually started playing the slot last year for the Jets.
Yeah.
And they could see him taking over the slot, and maybe obviously Puka can play the slot as well. And then the red zone capabilities that he has. And they also think that Davante Adams, his route running and intelligence is going to allow him to sync up with Matthew Stafford. I think the term they used was it's going to be the meetings of the geniuses in that huddle. Davante, Matthew Stafford, and Sean McVay talking in their ears. So, it's pretty exciting. And now the Poona Ford, I'm pretty sure I predicted that as well. Hey, Scott Richmond's on. How's it going, Scott? The other thing I mentioned last night was, and I just pulled it out of my ass, to be honest with you. I was thinking, who could they sign?
You're making educated guesses out of your ass. Give yourself some credit.
I was like, yeah, Poona Ford makes sense. Poona Ford makes sense. 5'11", 310, I think. And they signed him, and that's exactly what they need now. I know Scott has mentioned that he'd prefer that they would sign a 335-pound big boy. But, at 5'11", 310, that how much different is that from 6'4", 330? I mean, obviously there's a difference, but a 5'11", 300-pound nose tackle is a pretty difficult guy to move, especially in short yardage situations, I would think. So all good signings, but, I have never really been critical of a Rams signing. I'm excited about I was excited about Allen Robinson. I was excited about Michael Sims Walker, if you remember that.
Correct, yeah. Well, look, that's part of this time of year, though, Mark, Rams Nation tuning in. And shout out to you, Jack42. Cheers to you as well. Thanks for tuning in here in the chat. We're all excited, right? And then, there's also hey, did Coleman Shelton come back? And it hasn't been official yet, so we haven't really talked about it. And I think with me and Mark, we're going to wait on to see if that's happening officially or not, and we'll share our full details.
Sure.
But, so far, Davante, Poona Ford, Jimmy G is back, and then maybe Coleman based on what a Bears reporter had to say. But maybe we'll find out tonight during our stream, and we'll talk about it then.
So let me ask you this, and Scott, you can chat on this topic as well. Scott had said, let's bring in someone to push Bo Limmer. Obviously, Coleman Shelton would. Or do you think the Rams expect Coleman Shelton to be the starter if they bring him in?
Well, I think they do want competition, but they do need a backup center, right? I mean, that's just the reality. So I think we'll find. That's what I'm saying. I'm waiting to see the details of the deal to really be like, okay, this is where this thing is going to be leaning toward with his return. Because, he didn't play well with the Bears last year in a scheme that he is familiar with the zone, the zone running scheme. So I get it, Scott. I mean, hey, Shelton back, a former starting center of ours, a former Super Bowl champion. He's from LA, went to Loyola right there in the downtown area. So, I mean, hey, fantastic. But, I got to see the details of the deal if it actually happens to really be like, hey, is he going to compete with Bo, or is this a backup job? And I think, hey, they're going to be competing, right? I mean, everyone's pissed about Bo because, he whiffed on the whole interior line whiffed on the Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter in that playoff loss. But look, Bo Limmer is a good center, in my opinion. Was it perfect? No, but hey, a 6th-round rookie, right, 6th-rounder that got thrusted into the lineup because Steve Avila couldn't play center. Let's just call it what it is. He just couldn't do it at the pro level. Les Snead alluded to it. McVay alluded to it throughout this last, couple weeks of interviews to the media. Hey, he was a championship-esque level center, sincerely. Other than a mistake here or there, unfortunately, against one of the best in the game. But competition's good. I'm not mad about it. But again, Rams Nation, let's see what happens with the deal, if it actually happens with Coleman. And we'll find out.
Yeah, what surprised me is, when the Rams made the trade, sending Jonah Jackson to the Bears, Sean McVay made a comment that he loves the guard group. And I said, yeah, that makes sense to me. I love the guard group too. I'm a little worried about the backup tackles. And then what do? They go potentially sign a guard center. So I thought they'd emphasize the tackle position first. But hey, it doesn't necessarily go in the order of priorities, your signings anyways. They may have a tackle in mind, and it's just taking a little longer to work out the deal.
But Mark, Rams Nation, we're so early in this thing. We're barely in day one of not even really the official start of free agency. It's the tampering period, right? So, we'll see. All these things can be addressed, and we're going to talk about that here today, Rams Nation, with our 2025 group mock draft 1.0 for everyone who's ready to start selecting players and getting that hype going. Yes, we know it's very early, but hey, things are happening. We can start making calculated decisions though, right, Mark?
Yeah. And, this is going to be our first opportunity to draft and maybe run a mock draft while probably ignoring wide receiver with the first couple of picks, probably ignoring nose tackle potentially. Although, hey, there's nothing wrong with draft. And what these early signings have done, especially Poona Ford and Davante Adams, it's just built in some flexibility to the Rams come draft day. And for us right now, they can go a lot of different directions. A week ago, I would have thought they would almost be compelled to draft a wide receiver with that first pick. Now, not so much.
Yeah.
Do you want to kick this off?
Yeah, let's do it. And I think Rams Nation, what's important to go through real quick, and we'll pull this up, is who's left so far, right? What are the holes that we would have to address and the things to consider when we're doing this mock draft? For any mock draft for yourself that you like to do online and kind of play around and see how things go. Again, Hunter Long, gone. Bobby Brown, well, we replaced him. He is gone. Michael Hoyt, no more LA signs. Dang it. Unless somebody else takes that. Shout out to Michael Hoyt. He was a good outside linebacker for us this last season, but he is gone. And, we're waiting back on all these other guys whose names are not crossed out. A lot of them, we probably have a good idea won't be back, right? But not official yet. But here is the list of guys who are potentially going to be gone. And then also, Rams Nation, holes to fill. Well, backup QB's fine. Wide receiver looks pretty good. Right? Shout out to Davante choosing us. That's nice. Nose tackle now has been filled. But hey, O-line depth like we were talking about with Coleman and the tackles. How about linebacker at both inside and outside? Got to get some depth there. And maybe starters at the inside. Cornerback, right? What's going to go on with Akello? What's going on with Dewell? Is he going to be a cap casualty? Jacoby Durant. And then, no more Travius Hodges-Tomlinson. What's going on with Darian Kendrick's health with the knee? All these things. And yes, we have Emmanuel Forbes. I understand. But hey, more corners the better. Then tight end. Again, Hunter Long gone. What's going to happen with Colby? That's a coin flip whether he's going to stick around or not. We're hoping Higbee can be healthy the full year, but that hasn't been the case the last couple of years. And then, obviously, speed running back, as we have Blake Corum, we have Kyron Williams, very similar players who can get the job done. But who is the home run hitter that I'm sure all of you have been desiring for many years, as Kyron's been the main guy? But I'm Team Kyron here. Don't get it twisted. I'm a big fan of his, and he's got to clean up those damn fumbling issues. But again, that, other things with the team, keep that in mind as we do this mock draft, or any mock draft you want to do yourselves, Ram Nation, for all the draft nerds out there like us.
Yeah, and to be clear, I put that together, and that doesn't mean I'm not drafting a nose tackle. I'm not drafting a wide receiver. Just trying to highlight the boxes we sort of kind of checked, and some of those holes to fill, speed running back. To me, that's a nice to have thing. We don't have to draft a speed running back, but it would certainly be I know a lot of Ram fans, including Scott, have that high on their list.
I feel you. And then Scott also says, I hope Parkinson is cut, Colby. Well, it would save us some money, and I'm not opposed to it, but, our coaches liked him, and obviously we paid him to be beast, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Very early. He could still be gone.
Yeah, that might be a cut that comes after the draft, depending on how the draft unfolds, right? But
yeah, for sure. See.
Okay. So what we decided to do on this draft, pardon? Are you ready to roll the draft? Okay. So what we decided to do was we're not going to make any trades here. We're just going to run this through with the Rams, the picks that they have. And by the way, the Jonah Jackson trade, the Jonah Jackson pick has been added to this website. And so we'll just let this roll and see what happens. Now, I'm not sure if I want to make the first pick. We'll see how our group here wants to do this. If someone really wants to make this first pick, wave at us on the chat there. We'll see how it goes. So we're going to reject these trades and 2 trade offers. 3.
I forget this does that in this mock, like in this database. It has like trade offers. I forgot about that. That was cool.
Yeah, and you can make trade offers as well. And I should probably play around with the other simulators. I've just stuck with this one because I've become more and more comfortable with it. So we have an edge rusher. Now, there are some Ram fans that are still insisting we need an edge rusher. I don't think it's a big need myself. And, Byron Young could be, up for a contract soon, though. Yeah. But what are you guys thinking here? We got Mike Green. I still think, a lot of Ram fans thinking about tight end. And if I turn on this tight end filter, the top 2 guys are gone, Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. A lot of folks love Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
And then the wide receivers, if one is Matthew Golden is still there, is he too good to pass on?
Maybe. There's some selection. Obviously, Jaden Higgins, a lot of people like him from Iowa State. Obviously, Campbell from Alabama, people really like and starting to like. We got some choices here at pick 26.
Yeah, and remember, we don't have another pick till number 90, so you got to get this one right. So if it were me, I would lean towards Mason Taylor, although it's awfully early for him. And I actually like Harold Fanning Jr., and I bet you Sean McVay loves Harold Fanning Jr. So maybe we wait on tight end.
Yeah.
What are you saying? What Scott has some input here. Tight ends again. Are you saying don't pick a tight end? Yeah. We have interior offensive line, the tackles. Connerly is a solid pick there at number 33 overall.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Ian? I'm thinking I don't want to reach too much. You got the linebacker too, Campbell. But I just feel like if we're going to be signing free agent, proven players on offense are free agents for the most part, which is I think what the Rams are going to do. Poona Ford, aside from Poona Ford, drafting a linebacker like Campbell that'd be a big step towards solidifying this defense. So
yeah, that's what I was leaning toward. I was like, and realistically, would Sean McVay be like, hey, I'm always down for offense. Let's get Matthew Golden in here, as the Texas Sarkisian offense has a lot of similarities in terms of the physical language of the playbook. With our Rams playbook. So, hey, I like Matthew, but I think keep bolstering that defense. I mean, if Jihad, if Campbell's there, I think that's the right move for the moment right now.
Okay, we're going to draft Campbell. and we got a B plus for that. And that certainly fills a hole because right now we have Jake Hummel as a restricted free agent. So the Rams can bring him back if they want. Omar Spates, and that's about it. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking our next pick, we got to look at tight end. We'll see. Let me filter for tight ends and see who's there at number 90, if Mason Taylor or Harold Fanning Jr. Taylor just went. Gunnar Helm could be a solid pick as well.
Yeah.
So we have Harold Fanning Jr. and Gunnar Helm, two tight ends that would be legitimate picks here.
Yeah, most definitely. Let me see the
Matthew,
all tab.
That's my. Sorry.
No, you're good. Let me see the all tab here. Got to be tied in next. No, I'm looking that way. So I'm like, who's on the big board, right? Let me see, Harold. Yeah, I mean that Bowling Green dude, Harold Fanning. I'm gonna start watching tape on a lot of these guys like in depth soon after the frenzy of free agency is kind of over. But I think tight end's the right move, right? Higbee on his final year as a contract. We all aren't fans of the Colby contract. Davis Allen in now he's in year 3 upcoming, right? And Hunter Long's gone. So, I think that's a position of need. So I'm down for a tight end here as well. What about you, Mark?
Okay. No, that's fine. I love Harold Fanning, and he, his physical metrics are a little scary. He's a little long and lean for what the Rams usually draft at that position, but he's just going to be a weapon all over the field. So we'll make that pick. And, Harold Fannin with, assuming he gets on the field, there's this guy named Tyler Higbee still on the roster. But with Davante Adams and Puka Nacua and this dude, that's pretty exciting. So let's see. Having trouble reading these chats without putting them on the screen here for you. Scott's kind of so on that pick. So we have our linebacker and we have our tight end. And what are our other needs? We should look at, let's just scroll down this board and see who is there. Scatterboot still there. Quinn Ewers, the quarterback. Savion Williams, still some good wide receivers there. And Tyler Shug is a quarterback I've grown to like. Mm-hmm.
Good question here. Well,
let's look at the tackles. Millen from West Virginia. I believe that's a guy Scott had mocked to the Rams once.
Yeah.
You got a group think here. If someone wants to make a pick, the next person to post in the chat a selection, we're going to let you make the selection. Don't be shy. I'd lean towards the tackle. I still, knowing what we know now. The cornerbacks. That's a good point. Maybe we should look at the cornerbacks. Denzel Burke. Okay, I got the cornerbacks. Matt and Scott asked for the cornerbacks. And there you have it. Denzel Burke, Kobe Bryant. The cornerbacks might be there at 100, though, is what I'm thinking. If there's a couple of cornerbacks, it's kind of how I do the fantasy football drafts, right? If you like these top 3 guys are legitimate picks here, one of them's going to be there at 100. So if there's somebody else you like on this list, grab them now. Okay, I'm not seeing a pick, so I'm going to go ahead and take the tackle, Wyatt Millum.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got to go Westford. We got to go line just for depth, right?
Yeah,
right,
okay.
Rams Nation, if Higbee goes, if Rob Havenstein goes down or Alaric Jackson, and really any of the linemen, right? We're in trouble. Let's just call it what it is. Think about the games Alaric was suspended, how bad that went. Think about the games Rob Havenstein missed, how bad those games went offensively on the line. So we need guys that could come up and fill that void and not derail the offense with their absence, right? So getting guys who got upside like Wyatt, hopefully that ends up being the case.
Yeah, I misspoke. That I was thinking we were going to drop to 100 there for the cornerback. It's actually 126, but all three of those guys are still there. So I think we go cornerback, right?
I think that's a good idea.
And I know Burke and Strong are highly regarded. Don't know much about Kobe Bryant. Scott, which one of these cornerbacks do you like, unless you know of one you like, Ian, among these three?
Well, look at it. I think by default, Rams Nation. Again, I'll watch film in depth of a lot of these guys after the frenzy of free agency. But if you're not too sure, and I guess it's an old scouting thing, and even Les Snead admits this, like, hey, go to the schools who have the most pressure, who have the most competition, and then who also play other big programs where it's NFL light. I think he's called it before too. So in this situation, you got to go with Denzel Burke, in my opinion, right? A corner who is a part of a national championship team. He knows what it takes to win multiple playoff games, right? With the first year of college football. And, the Rams are big school hunting in the draft, it feels like, for a lot of premier positions. Not all the time, but it feels like most times they are. And I feel like that would be in line with something Snead and Co. would do, and I think it makes sense for our group mock right here as well.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and make that selection. And this draft is shaping up pretty nicely, actually. A very good cornerback dropped to us at 126, and we got a really good linebacker, a tight end that's really exciting, and a backup tackle.
Yeah.
So this is turning out pretty good. Oh, Scott chimed in on Dorian Strong there, but we'd already made that pick.
Apologies.
Let's see. Oh, they have already met with him. Okay, so that's an indication that perhaps they will make that pick if he falls onto their lap. Reject a couple of these trades. And so what do we got here? We have two guys for the defense, two for the offense. What's that?
No, go ahead. I was going to read them too. Sorry.
We can pretty much go in any direction we want here. I don't think we're in desperation mode for any position.
No, but I already know who I want. Go ahead. Go through the running backs.
Oh,
go through it. Yep, I definitely do.
I'm looking for names that none of the guys that I have talked about, the quarterbacks, McCord and Rourke are still there. I don't think either of them. I mean, they could potentially be, good NFL quarterbacks, but I don't think they're going to rock our world or anything. You must like someone in this on this screen here. Is that what you're getting at?
Yep, I think if you scroll up a little bit more in the all category, up
or down?
Oh, right there, you're good. I think right there, quarterback from Syracuse, Kyle McCord. I think that just makes a ton of sense right there. Somebody who got kicked to the curb from Ohio State, right? As he was, reportedly got all the blame after the Michigan loss a couple of seasons ago, and they wanted Will Howard to be the quarterback for them. And hey, it worked out. They won a national championship. But look at this dude, Kyle, went to a program that doesn't have a lot of football success in my lifetime. I'm 29 years old, and there hasn't been going on. And yes, maybe did they win a ton of games and it was craziness? No, but I think quarterbacks who can handle the adversity of being on a lesser program and still play well, I think Kyle did that. Plus, I've seen some film, and the dude can sling it around. I think he's got arm talent. I think in this part of the draft, I feel like it wouldn't be a bad idea to snag somebody who I think could fit in the scheme schematically, what the Rams like to do. I think he can handle the bootlegs. I think he can handle throwing the deep in dig routes. I think he can handle throwing the deeper out routes. And again, NFL level, obviously you got to take your game up to the next step to be able to sling those things like Matthew Stafford does. But I think it makes sense. as Les Snead also said, hey, well, we would like to get some young quarterback to learn from Matthew Stafford in here. And I think this part of the draft here, pick, 192 overall. I think Colin McCord taking the quarterback as, again, Stetson Bennett ain't the answer, everybody. Jimmy Garoppolo, who knows if he'll be here next year and beyond as well. I think we got to get somebody in young that can be molded by two veterans who have won multiple playoff games and know what it takes to get to a championship game, at least Matthew Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo. So,
uh-oh, the last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast here to tell you about Michelob Ultra Courtside. It's getting fans closer to the NBA with a chance to win prizes like courtside seats, a trip to All-Star Weekend, and much more. Check it out at MichelobUltra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra Superior Access, Courtside 24-25 sweepstakes, no purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 and up. Begins on October 1st, 2024. Ends July 1st, 2025. Multiple entry periods. Visit MichelobUltra.com/courtside for free entry deadlines, and official rules. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited.
This episode is brought to you by Coffee Mate. After watching this season of the HBO's original series, The White Lotus, this is the tropical getaway I needed. One more pina colada, please.
Hey, you're not on mute.
Oh, I thought I was in paradise. Turns out it was my Coffee Mate. Coffee Mate Pina Colada and Thai-iced coffee flavored creamers. Inspired by the newest season of HBO's original series, The White Lotus. For the love of coffee. Try now.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Xyzal is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Xyzal keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all. Take Xyzal. At night.
Yeah, and they chucked the ball around a lot at Syracuse this year.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
And he's the highest rated player on the board. Okay, that's a selection. And another A+, man, we're just killing it here. We have very quickly have another pick and another linebacker, wide receiver, and a cornerback at top of the board. Tommy Hill's a cornerback I like. I don't know if we'll draft two cornerbacks in our top, 6 picks, though. Let's see. Is there any position that we have been dismissing completely?
Let's see. Well, we got a linebacker. What about punter? No, I'm just kidding. Corner, we got tight end, right? Tight end for long term, right? You have quarterback for potential long term. We're hitting them right now. And then look, I'm not opposed to keep adding to the inside linebacker room as a whole. And then I know we talked about running back and all that as well. But I gotta say though, I'm not opposed to Kaiser right here, Rams Nation, if you're tuning in, the linebacker from Notre Dame. A big dude, right? He's 6'2", about 231. Played for, again, a championship-esque level team. And I think if you rely on the Snead logic, right? Pick players who know the stress, the struggle, the want to and need to play at a good level to have success. And I think choosing Kaiser here to add to the linebacker group, I don't think that's a bad idea at all here.
Okay. And the thing about these linebackers, they're generally very good special teams players as well, especially as rookies. Okay. I'm going to make that pick. And hey, Scott, let's let you make the next pick. Don't be shy here. I pinged you on the possibility of leaning on your expertise. You've probably studied these players more than any of us. I will run through this and you give it some thought. Defensive line is a possibility as well. Signing Poona Ford does not alleviate the need for a defensive line in this draft because Laurel Murchison, free agent, Neville Gallimore, free agent, Bobby Brown already signed with the Panthers. So we're still thin there depth-wise. Manuel Correa is on board. Scott wants us to look at running backs. And I did a little bit on the speed running backs, and I'm looking for them, and I feel like the ones I'm aware of are gone.
Yeah, feels like the way.
I don't see our RJ Harvey's gone. Tootin, is Tootin still there? He was the one that tore it up at the combine, almost took the Triple Crown there. And I can't find him. I must have missed him in the selected already column. Are you thinking on this, Scott? Do you have a selection you'd like us to make?
And again, Rams Nation, what's up, man? And we'll see your comment here as well. And look, we know, I think Rams trade back. Yes, I think trades are always a possibility with Snead running it. But, for the sake of this 1.0 group draft, we're just doing it straight up as is, rejecting trades, not thinking of those things. We're just doing it as is, as Carlos also tunes in here and says, how can they not sign Greenlaw? Well, the Rams don't value inside linebackers if you haven't been seeing the trend under the Mick Snead era, right? Ogletree got paid. McVay was like, yeah, we don't need him. Yeah, you're right. Send him away after getting a big contract. Corey Littleton needed to get paid after his successful years. They're like, yeah, we're not doing it. See you later. Gosh, you think of Ernest Jones recently. Now he's with the Seahawks. We'll have to face him for the next couple seasons at least. No, thank you. See you later. Bobby Wagner was an all-pro with us. Yeah, we don't want to pay this money anymore. See you later. So, would Greenlaw have been cool? Yeah, it would have been cool, but that's just not how this business is ran for the Rams with inside linebackers. But hey, in our draft here, Campbell, Kaiser, maybe they step up with Omar Spates and Roseboom, and they add to that room and become starters, surprise starters. But yeah, that's I get it. But hey, at least Greenlaw's not in the NFCs with the Broncos now, so we don't have to see him often.
It looks like Scott is leaning towards Jaden Blue, 4.38 speed out of Texas. And if I don't hear otherwise, that'll be the selection, unless I hear some objections or Scott changes his mind real quickly here. Yeah. And the Rams draft a running back every year. They just do. Now, he may not be the the same model as Blake Corum and Kyron Williams, but I think that's okay. I think that's what they need to do. They need to diversify that running back room, bring in some running backs with a running back with some home run hitting capability. So I think we're going to go that direction.
Yeah, that's cool with me. I mean, look at the way McVay talked about how his conversations with now head coach Liam Cohen, our former offensive coordinator back in 22 and other times, about how they used Bucky Irving in the passing game and how using the speedster was very cool to watch. So, McVay saying that, he's probably like, I can do that crap too. Let me get a speedster pass catcher, and he's probably thinking the same thing. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with any speedster running back.
Yeah. Okay, Jaden Blue is the pick. We have one more pick.
And real quick, again, think about it. Again, good program, championship level, default to that. Jaden Blue from Texas makes sense.
Yeah, and we will do another mock draft. By the way, people talking about trades, we'll have at least one where we just go crazy with trades,
Yeah.
and I think Tom Courts did one where he made it like 18 picks or something. We won't get that crazy, but
Yeah.
tried to keep it real. Trade around and end up with maybe 12 or 13 picks, very possible. And I know Scott's done that a couple of times, trading back with the Chiefs. Will get you a late first and another third or late second rounder, I think. But we're on the last pick, and let's go back up to the top here. Highest rated player is defensive line. Now, what have we? If you look at this chart up here, by the way, it tells you what you've hit and what you have not. So we haven't hit wide receiver and defensive line. And like I say, a week ago, I would have hit those real early. So, but let's look at wide receiver, see if there's anybody. Nick Nash. If you guys are familiar with Nick Nash, you're really going to like him. Randy's giving me a pat on the back for predicting the Poona Ford, signing.
That's right.
And so what was I saying here? Nick Nash. Nick Nash is, you're going to fall in love with that guy. Came out of nowhere, and he's going to make a splash somewhere. He's probably going to end up getting overdrafted because there's going to be a lot of spin about him. But I don't know if that should necessarily be the pick here. And we haven't picked defensive line yet either. What are you guys thinking? I would probably lean towards, let's look at our wide receiver room. Davante Adams, Tutu Atwell, Puka Nacua, Jordan Whittington, and still thin after that. And our defensive line, interior defensive line, Tyler Davis and Poona Ford, Kobe Turner. What's a bigger need? I know people say take the best player available, but at some point you got to address needs.
Yeah, I agree. But I guess what is the default on this? Do we go with the big school guys, or do you take a chance on this on somebody who is not from the big programs in the Big Ten or the SEC? Right. So I think when in doubt, go with the guys from the big programs who are used to the chaos and the pressure.
So are you saying your SMU is not a big program? You're leaning more towards Vernon Broughton from Texas or Ty Hamilton?
Yeah, and thinking about it too, Les Snead has made a lot of worthy trips to the University of Texas. I think his son is around there right now. And Snead won't be able to handle himself with the Texas and Georgia guys, but hey, if Elijah Roberts is that guy, I have no problem with that either.
So y'all confused me now. Are we taking Roberts or are we taking
Let's go. We'll go with Scott's. We'll take the Roberts. I got to study these guys more in depth. This is the group 1.0 as
okay.
This deep in the draft, I gotta watch more film at this point.
Yeah. Hey, that's what a lot of this is. It's not so much, making accurate predictions. When we do this, or if you do this by yourself, you're going to find yourself learning a lot about these players and just being more educated. And the chances of us getting picks correct are still pretty slim. But we know who we like, and when guys get drafted, and a couple years down the road, you'll see guys that you studied playing for another team, and you just know a little bit more about them. So I'll go ahead and make Elijah Roberts the pick, and another A+ stellar draft. Good job.
That's right.
The only one they didn't like was, I'm surprised they didn't like the Campbell pick, because this should take into account, team needs. And we didn't draft a wide receiver. I've had drafts where I was picking two of them.
Yeah, and look, realistically, would it be this defensive and trench heavy, and with Sean McVay being a part of it? That's very, very unlikely. As I assume there'll be trades. But again, Rams Nation, this group mock draft 1.0 is no trades into account, no straight up picks. And hey, if it went that way, I wouldn't be mad with all those A's and B pluses.
Yeah, I missed Manuel's. Manuel wanted us to look at edge rushers there. Next time, Manuel, next time. Trying to get this to show.
Oh, by the way, breaking news, nothing Rams related, but more 49ers players keep going. Kyle Juszczyk is getting cut by the Niners.
Oh, yeah, and he was the one that sacrificed some money last year, right? So they could gave them a little bit of elbow room by taking a smaller deal, I think, or restructuring.
Yeah. And for anyone who wanted Byron Murphy, the corner, he's staying with the Vikings. So
yeah, I'll share some signings of note in a second here. Probably a lot of it's probably already old news, but I'll rehash this draft real quickly. Campbell, the linebacker from Alabama, sideline guy. Harold Fanning Jr. He's just a athletic freak. He's going to be a real matchup issue for defenses. We added some depth at tackle with Wyatt Millum. Added a cornerback, which is a real need right now. Knowing what we know right now, Denzel Burke out of a big-time program, Ohio State. Kyle McCord, I think he led the NCAA in passing, if I'm not mistaken. And another linebacker from another big program, Jack Kaiser. So we've replenished the linebacker group. And then a fast running back, Jaden Blue, again out of a big program, and then Elijah Roberts, a defensive lineman out of SMU, and looking at how this draft went down outside of the Rams, Abdul Carter still went first, and have a look at that. If you care, that's how the first round went down. So. Not a bad draft for us. I would be happy with this, I think. I mean, how long has it been since the Rams? Well, if we discount Ernest Jones, which sort of worked out, sort of didn't, how long has it been since we've had a really impactful linebacker that, just makes plays all over the field? It's been a while. Hey, let's go back to those. I wanted to, what's that? I was going to.
No, with Ernest Jones, I'm just like, ay.
Yeah, I put together some signings of note that in one way or another impact the Rams. I know Ram fans were hoping to get their hands on Nick Bolton. Josh Sweat goes to a divisional rival. Cardinals improving their defense. DJ Reed's a cornerback. Some Ram fans were hoping we'd make a run at. And the 49ers lose an interior offensive lineman. At the bottom there, they also lost the safety Tufanka. And on some boards, Milton Williams was the number 1 rated free agent. So the Eagles lose him, which I guess is good. Yeah. And Sam Darnold to the Seahawks. And I don't know, man, the Seahawks, I like them adding Sam Darnold after losing Geno Smith, but my special assistant and I were trading Instagram reels, or maybe it was on X, of what their depth chart might look like. And one of the posts had Bilbo Baggins playing wide receiver for them. So they're I don't know, man. I'd be really kind of discouraged if I was a Seahawks fan. And the 49ers taking some hits too.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we had our cycle of cap hell and getting out of it, right? We had to bail on a lot of players, and they're in the process of doing that with the hopes that they could rebound and be a competitive, good football team, very quickly, just like we turned it around after a disaster year, similar to their past disaster year this last season. So we'll see, hey, nothing against the players, but I hope none of that happens for our rivals.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens the next few days. What are let's say we get Coleman Shelton. Are there any other players that we're hoping they make a run at here? Any positions or players that we have our eyes on?
Yeah, I mean, vet minimums for any wide receiver I'm in, right? Does Tyler Johnson want to come back on a vet minimum? Does, you know, any other receiver I'm just blanking on, right, want to come and be on the vet minimum, be a part of the depth who will, get some playing time to some degree? Is there any vet minimum tight end, right? As we need, some people there, more bodies, and just anything with the vet minimums, guys who want to come play for the Rams on the cheaper side, but want to be a part of a winning program. I mean, we can go down the list of guys. So I think vet minimum wide receiver, I think that was something I would like to see in the next week or so.
Yeah, and it looks like Cooper Kupp, decision on him will be made by Wednesday. And yeah. I'm just worried about where he might end up because I'll always root for him. I just hope he doesn't end up with a NFC rival because I think he's going to want, if he's a true free agent, he's going to sign with a contender, right? He's got he won't want to play for anyone other than a contender. And if that means an NFC contender, we're going to have to root against him and he'll be coming for us. So that's kind of a bummer.
It is. It sucks. It sucks. But, that's the universe we live in the NFL not for long league. That's just how it goes, man. I mean, he won't be the last Rams player. We're sad about him departing. And as long as you care about this team and football in general, it'll always happen.
Slippery Rock.
At Manuel Correa. Does Slippery Rock have any players that might interest Snead? Well, I'm sure maybe somebody's got a draft profile to hand him. It's funny.
So, hey, in the comments when we're done here, feel free to give us an overall grade and tell us where we went wrong, where we got it right, and we'll do another one. Scott, I'll have you on stage with us next time, maybe help you make some picks real time, mix it up a little bit. It's all for entertainment purposes, but we also want to make sure we're being smart about our draft picks.
Yeah. That's how it is, but not bad for group mock draft 1.0. And hey, the robot handling the draft for us liked it. Give us good grades, so I'll take it. Again, if you're not too sure on players, the default always to go back and get players from big programs that played meaningful big games a lot of their careers. That's always a good sign. And we did that this draft for majority of the picks, and majority of them, the robot running the draft liked them. I'll take it.
Yeah, we got Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Texas, so not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Okay. Any final thoughts, Ian? We'll have to come back. We should probably do either a recording or maybe even a live stream because this is kind of fun. And then you probably have to give free agency a few days to percolate. And we'll come back share some thoughts and update our depth chart, offense and defense. And no, we're not talking about special teams because we're pretty set there. I forgot about Xavier Smith. We do have Xavier Smith in the wide receiver room too. Just popped in my head when I was thinking about special teams because him and Jordan Whittington are a part of that equation.
Yes, they.
All right,
they are. But,
we done here?
Yeah, we are. We are, I think. And man, I'm just free agency frenzy. I'm just excited about the time we're in right now of this offseason.
Yeah, this is it's a fun time of work, and it's and I'm actually at my real job all day and able to have my phone with me though, and it was buzzing all day long. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was me. It was just me all day bothering you. I was like, oh, this happened. Oh shit, this is that.
Yeah, right. Okay, guys. That was fun. We'll do it again soon. And thank everybody for joining. And man, I know we got a lot of comments popping up here now, and I'm sorry I can't get to them all. We gotta assign a third person to be on this just to manage the comments and make sure we don't miss any. We really appreciate everybody participating. What's this last question here? Oh, yeah, I already showed that one. I had to show that again. That was about me getting it right. I saw my name up there.
Fortune teller
and,
Mark. Hey, come on, man.
Yeah. I'll have to make another prediction in the next day or two.
That's right. How about Rams somehow get a trade for Saquon Barkley? Let's pull a Lakers Dallas trade. Not happening, I know.
Oh man, that has gone south so fast for Dallas. Jeez, crazy.
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay, guys. I guess that's it. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining, and thanks for the salutations and the nice comments. And we'll do it again real soon. Out here from Rams Up, and thanks a lot, Ian, for taking the time out to do this with me. Really appreciate it. And out here from Rams Up.
It's all right, baby. Go Rams.
That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.